Hi, today I'm going to teach you how to use your laptop computer or PC computer as a lightbox, and also how to transfer your photo reference onto watercolor paper. And this works for canvas as well. I find it really helps to focus my efforts on the painting process if I don't have to also worry about freehanding it exactly right, whatever the painting reference is, especially if it's just for practice or if I just want to save a whole lot of time. It does not mean I'm less of an artist just because I traced something. So if I wanted to paint my figure this big on a 9x12 piece of paper, then I would make my image as large or small as I need it to on the screen, and then I can trace it. I'm trying to make it fit onto this, so I'm just guessing how big to make this. It doesn't have to be exact. It is going to be a good guide for myself. I'm going to treat the shadow areas like they're one shape. So I'm going to put a couple of dots here. That means it's dark if you see two dots. If it's a little lighter, then I'll just put one dot. When it's time to raise it up, I don't zoom in or out. I leave it the same magnification, and then I can realign this to how I need it. And then I can keep going. You'll notice my screen does not have a Sharpie bleeding through all over it because tracing paper doesn't bleed through. Make sure it's actual tracing paper, of course. Again, I will put the one dot where it's a little lighter and two dots where it's darker. That way I can remember later on when it's time to flood it with color. You can always change your mind at any given point. I do like to put a format around the edges just so I know where my color would actually stop when I'm painting. Another way you can do this is to print the photo reference, print it on an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. If it's got two images on it, you just cut them apart, and then you can use those to trace that onto your watercolor paper or canvas. There we go. Print them at the size that you want them to be. So I've got my paper or canvas that's this size, and I could always hit print again on the PDF, except make it maybe 80%, and then it would print a little smaller on the piece of paper so that it will fit actually my canvas or watercolor paper. Now, how to get this onto my canvas or watercolor paper? Well, I'll show you. This is graphite paper, and it's kind of like the old-fashioned carbon paper. How do I know what side is down? I don't. I'm going to take a Post-it, and that's going to be my practice piece to find out which side is the quote dirty side of this carbon paper. I'm going to just scratch through my carbon paper with my fingernail. Okay, I just touched my carbon paper and I'm scribbling on it, and I lift it up and I see it didn't really do anything. So now I turn my graphite paper over, do the same thing. I'm going to scratch through it with my fingernail. Lo and behold, that's the correct side. That's the dirty side. So this side will be facing down. Here's my watercolor paper, and I'm going to fasten it down with my clipboard, or you could tape it. And this is my little go-between now, and then I will put this over the top wherever I want my image to be. Before I go much further, I'm going to hold this down and take a peek. Ah, it did work. Hooray. Don't worry that, it doesn't have to be perfect. I am putting those little dots on there for myself, kind of as a reference. Before I move my hand, holding everything down, I want to lift it up and make sure See, I didn't get the eyes. I forgot to do the eyes, so I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. It's okay if you don't have graphite paper, because I'm going to teach you how making your own graphite paper by scribbling on the back of your printout, or scribbling on the back of what you traced using your computer as a lightbox, because you can scribble on the back of this too. So for this, if I don't have graphite paper, now I don't scribble on my canvas or watercolor paper, I'm setting that aside. I will take a rather dark pencil, and on the back of these, either one of them or both, I can do some scribbling. Just along wherever I want to trace, only where I know that there are lines to be pressed through. There, I've made my own graphite paper, and whenever I put this now onto my watercolor paper and press through, it will leave a nice pencil mark for me. Here's my printout that I cut, and so I'm going to scribble on the back. Now when I turn this over, I can position it wherever I want this on my watercolor paper. And I'll use a ballpoint pen to trace it, because I like the metal nib that makes it very easy to push through. Excellent. There you have it. A few different ways to trace your designs onto your canvas or watercolor paper in preparation for a painting of any kind. Enjoy!